In London, something very strange and unnatural has been happening recently. The weather has been giving us double-digit temperatures. We're talking 10 degrees, 11 degrees weather, which is kind of crazy. I am boiling just thinking about it, guys, and it's getting me excited for this spring season coming up, especially for fragrances. I want to talk about what I think are some must-own spring fragrances for men, although of course there's no such thing as a must-own fragrance. I mean, it's just scented water, bro. Nothing is compulsory here, but it's kind of like what I think are the top contenders people should be thinking about if you're collecting fragrances for the spring season. Bear with me, guys, I'm still recovering from the end of an illness. Hopefully it's the end of an illness, so I might not be 100% in this video. I'm going to try to give you as much energy as I possibly can. Let's begin. Club Nuit Intense Man Limited Edition. Bear in mind, Armaf are now a long-term sponsor of the channel. They're a more regular sponsor. They provided this for me more recently, so it's a more recent addition to the collection, and I'm really liking it. This is a very good addition to the lineup in general. It's been out for a while, limited edition version. It's not really limited edition because it's been out for so many years now, but this is probably the best version of Club Nuit Intense Man. You can put in a lot of different citrus freshes here. You should want like basically a very easy to like, grab and go, done reach springtime fragrance. I forgot to say, guys, when I think of spring fragrances, I don't just think, okay, they need to be warm weather focused, like they're not just going to be citrus focused, they're not going to be aquatic. That's more for the summertime. Springtime, I think fresh notes mixed with heady base notes that give it some balance, some weightiness. So woods are going to be involved in here. There's going to be some florals, there's going to be some green notes, there's going to be a little iris, etc., as well as some citruses, of course. But it's not just pure freshness like in this summertime. Springtime has that balance of fresh and headiness. So this is the Creed Aventus DNA limited edition, but it's the best version of Club Nuit Intense Man. It's probably much better value than the much better value for money than the original Creed Aventus. Now at this point, this is a very smooth replication, more like a pineapple fruity batch of Aventus in this replication. Very smooth, musky, long-lasting, around 10 hours with a medium projection, I would say. A very versatile fragrance. As I said, in this slot, you kind of just want something versatile. You can have Sweat Boise Intense as a replacement to this. You can have something like Turathi Blue. You can have Sauvage Parfum. I think these will all fit in great in this kind of slot in this part of the video. A limited edition, you will smell great, smooth. It's just very easy to wear. It's very handsome. This DNA works really nicely. Even the Eau de Toilette, I think, is a good compliment getter. I think this is even better than the other versions of Club Nuit Intense Man. Currently my favorite from the entire lineup right now. Very good stuff. I think the hype is worth it. Dior Homme Original. I'm saying this is a must-own because you need creativity in your spring arsenal. This is a masterpiece that the rest of the newer Dior Hommes just don't hold a candle to. You know, there's some solid additions in the new fragrances, but they're not going to be as revolutionary as this scent. Iris, powderiness with a slight cacao note in here. It's warm, woody, balanced, a very nice signature overall. That's going to make you stand out. It's going to make you smell like an artistic, sensitive soul who knows what he's doing. He probably puts himself together really nicely, really well. Probably doesn't get too ill too often like myself. So just a really well put together gentleman, a really classy gentleman, like a really class act would be wearing something like this. It's such a beautiful scent that speaks to the soul. By the way, guys, if you don't already know, our next release for Atrium, Mr. Opulence over here, which is kind of how this will look in the end. This is a placeholder bottle, is available to pre-order at its lowest price possible in the month of February. You can use the link in the description down below. This will be a great springtime fragrance. It's good for the autumn, winter, and spring, and you can just about get away with it in the summertime if you go easy on the trigger in the evening time. This is a fig, honey, oud, ambergris, sandalwood fragrance. Basically, Mr. Opulence has all the most expensive ingredients in there. It's made by John Stephen, master perfumer. It's made some fantastic fragrances for us so far already. You can reserve your bottle for $1 only, and then you can pay the rest of the price on the 28th of February only. And then at that point, the price goes up. The first batch of Mr. Opulence is going to have very limited numbers, by the way, and you're going to have my own written signature on the box, as well as a numbered label on the bottle, so you know which number bottle you got specifically. This is our mature loud head turner. As I said, guys, check the link in the video description down below. Azzaro, the most wanted parfum. You might be surprised to see this on the spring list, but you do want to wear something in the evening times in the spring. You want something that has a balance, not too cloyingly sweet, but you want something that still is going to be able to pierce through and have enough strength through that slightly colder springtime, nighttime air. And I think Most Wanted Parfum is just one of the sexiest designers out there right now. It is very smooth, very easy to like. It's a little bit sweet, fruity, ambery, warm, woody. What makes it particularly focused for the springtime in this video, I'm not sure. I just feel like it works really well in the springtime. It has that perfect balance. It never feels like this fragrance is just ever too cloying, that's what I'm saying. It's just not, it's a balanced fragrance. It's sweet, but at the same time airy. That's how I would describe it. And I think that's just why I think it suits the springtime perfectly. 37.9% of people who watch School of Scent are subscribed to us. If you guys really want to see our channel grow, go ahead and click subscribe. Let's get that number to 40%. Thank you. Chanel's Allure Homme Sport, the original. This as well works well for the springtime. I said, you know, I'm not going to just give you summertime fragrances that are aquatic, citrusy. Okay, this is aquatic and citrusy, but it kind of has a thickness to it with the musks in here. It's very smooth, Chanel-like, very elegant, handsome. I always think like a handsome pilot would wear something like this. It's airy, it's ozonic, creamy, yet very familiar and easy to like. I think it's easier to like this than the Allure Homme Eau Extreme Flanker. That's still a cool fragrance, but I feel like this is probably the safest all-rounder in the entire lineup. A masterpiece, actually. I think it's really underrated, and even I believe it did anyways. I think it did inspire Versace Pour Homme, which came out a few years after this fragrance. So this is a masterpiece. It's timeless as well. It really does feel like a timeless, high-end, versatile freshie that I will never go out of style. Very good stuff. 8 hours longevity is what I get with this bottle with a medium projection. Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Again, you might be surprised this is in this list, but for springtime, again, this has that freshness from some of the florals in here. This has florals and ambers that kind of go around and balance out the leather, which is the main star of this fragrance. The leather kind of has an airiness, a smokiness to it. It's a little bit fresh, but it has some heaviness, of course, because it is leather. That makes it smell like a badass. You might be rocking your leather jacket in the springtime. You can wear this as your signature, a bit smoky, leathery, distinct, cool. I feel like you have to be a cool guy to really rock ombre leather nicely, and I think it just suits that personality. 8 hours longevity with medium projection. Prada L'Homme Intense. Again, in the evening time, you want something that will suit spring, the season perfectly. This does it as well. Very dark, distinct, sweet, beautiful iris perfumery here. It is just so masterfully done. This is Prada elegance, but they wanted it to be sexy. So they kind of combine the best of both worlds. I feel like Prada does very nice, serious fragrances, but they want to be playful with Prada L'Homme Intense, and it's just smells so much better than a lot of other designers out there. It's kind of in a league of its own, honestly. And it's quite beastly as well. 10 hours with a medium to loud projection. Dior Eau Sauvage Parfum. This one might be more for the more mature gentleman, probably be at least in your 30s to rock this, but this is a staple, a very classic, cool, great, solid office wear, let's say, fragrance, honestly, for the springtime. It's a very nicely done fougere. Simplistic, citron, ambery, sweet, but at the same time, it's fresh and out, airy enough to be worn in the warmer weather. I think you can wear this all year round, honestly, and it's beastly as well. Around 14 hours with a medium to loud projection, probably a loud projector overall. If you wear this in the workplace, you don't need to go that heavy because it doesn't need it. But this is a really nicely done, classy barbershop fragrance. You're reminded of the classical era of fragrances in the 20th century, but it smells modern. They've updated the DNA to 2017 when this flanker came out. It smells incredible. You'll smell like $1,000,000. You'll smell like a well put together, mature gentleman. And before we go to the niche fragrances, guys, I have to sneak this one in here. Yes, that's right. It's my baby, Loewe 7 Cobalt. The handsomeness of the Mediterranean in a bottle is how I would describe Loewe 7 Cobalt. It's, you know, kind of what Dolce & Gabbana used to provide to people, but I feel like the more new fragrances kind of don't give you that as much anymore. So I feel like this now is the king of the Mediterranean. It smells summery, fresh, but it has enough woodiness, a bit of pepperiness in here. Again, that robustness to give it springtime suitabilities. It's got that pepper, the fruit, the woods in here. It's very clean, blue perfumery that smells a little bit sporty, fresh, zingy. It's almost like a replacement of something like YSL's YEDP. Like, that's a great fragrance, but I feel like nowadays this is better, hence why I'm always recommending it. 6 to 8 hours with medium projection. Over to niche, a masterpiece, 10 out of 10 fragrance, Montabaco Intensivo by Ormonde. This is my first fragrance I believe I've ever smelled from this house ages ago. I think you guys, I did a video where I bought samples based on fragrances you guys wanted me to try, or you guys said it was a 10 out of 10. I gave it a 10 out of 10 very easily. I understood how this is very complex, very creative, very different style of a tobacco fragrance. It's a fresh, clean, airy tobacco that makes it smell calm, well put together, really it makes you feel like a boss, like it just collects your mind and makes you feel like you're ready for the day. Very long lasting as well. Airy, ozonic, citrus, woody, suede, tobacco perfumery here, like a mature gentleman just knows what he's doing, and the fragrance just never gets boring. It's 10 hours longevity with medium projection. For a fresh fragrance like this, I think it's incredible. I always put it in the same category as something like Silver Mountain Water. It has that calming, relaxing effect. They're not the clones or anything. That's not what I'm saying, but I feel like they're in a similar family. But this is much better. I would recommend this over something like Silver Mountain Water any day. And lastly, Xerjoff's 40 Knots. I'm bringing this back out, guys. This, okay, is an aquatic, but it's ambery at the same time. Some people say this smells like baby powder to them, so fair enough. Maybe you have to try this first before you buy, but I blindballed this and I absolutely loved it. No, I did not love it. I hated it kind of, a little bit at first. And this grows on you quite quickly though. So I feel like if you are going to try this fragrance, give it several wearings. It's a very different approach to an aquatic. It's a bit green, salty, sharp, aquatic, and also very ambery as well. It's quite an amber-based fragrance, which makes it heady enough for the springtime easily. I think this is an all-year-round fragrance anyways. It's beastly as well, 12 hours plus with a loud projection also. So 50 ml is going to last you a long time, honestly. A very cool, interesting aquatic. You're looking for niche, you want something different. This is the fragrance to do it, and oftentimes you can find it at a very good price also. It's a 10 out of 10 still for me. That concludes this video, guys. What are your thoughts on my choices today? Is my energy level okay, guys? I'm trying my best here while still being unwell. What are your favorite spring fragrances out there? What do you think are some must-own spring fragrances for me? Let us know in the comments down below, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out last year's spring fragrances 10 out of 10 picks up here. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.